the National Funeral Practices Association of South Africa is calling on the government here at home to urgently intervene in a body scam syndicate that's on the rise in KZN. So we're told that the group steals bodies, gives them new identities, and then registers death certificates in order to cash out on insurance claims. To date, Hawks members from the Durban Serious Commercial Crimes Unit have arrested 4 suspects, we're told, including a funeral parlor owner, for fraud. Let's unpack this now, get you a sense of what we should know. Bring in the president of the National Funeral Practitioners Association. That's Muzi Hlengwa, who's with us via our telephone line this morning. But Muzi, it's great to have you on the program, sir. Thank you so much for making time. Let me begin by just asking you to break down for us how the scam actually works. How do people pull this off?
Good morning to you and good morning to our viewers at home. Unfortunately, we experiencing a load shedding. So my network may not be so good. Actually, you know what's happening is that there will be these fraud syndicates who are always conducting these fraudulent claims with insurance policies. As you know, that KZN, majority of the area is rural. So people are being buried without the registration of the death certificate. And these are the very same IDs that are used to now buy a policy, and, you know, they await the waiting period. Then once the waiting period is exhausted, they go and register a death certificate. On the other hand, there are people who are being, whose IDs are stolen, and they are registered as dead while they are still alive, which at the end of the day causes a lot of frustration with the person whose ID has been stolen. In reality, they will, because doctors will never certify anyone without seeing the body these days, unlike before, because doctors would just sign the PI because of fraud. And then as the National African Funeral Practitioners Association, we have said with both the Department of Health and Department of Home Affairs to say doctors should not just certify a person in the PI without seeing the actual physical body. Now, these syndicates have graduated. They go and they get a body from a private mortuary or a government mortuary, and re-identify the body as per the ID that they are holding. Then the doctor will surely, this time around, register, the PI, fill in the PI, and even the owner of the mortuary does not even know that it's a wrong body. You will end up signing, hoping it's the same body, because they get a body of a similar age. You obviously would never have seen the body before, so you wouldn't know how does the body appeared when he was a person appeared when he was still alive. So this is how they are doing it. We are closing the gaps at the private mortuary, but now they've opened a new avenue, which is the hospital. In particular, there's a hospital in KZN, in Durban, KZN, known as Mshieni Hospital, and this is the one that they are using now. They get the bodies out there, they do whatever they want to do, and they return the body to the Mshieni Hospital. How is that happening? It beats me till today. You know? So we have contacted the police. What is letting us down is that particular with that case that I opened, because I was the one who caught those 4. Those 4 were arrested. They just went via the police station, not even get to be detained. They went back home. We struggled to open the case. When the case was finally opened, nothing has ever happened, including those police that have released those 4 criminals. They are still walking out free. There's nothing that has happened.
We'll speak about the interventions in just a moment, Mr. Hlengwa. I just want to go back to one of the instances that you've cited now about how the syndicate works. Bodies being stolen from a hospital. In some cases, I imagine, you have to take that body, for instance, to an unsuspecting family. so that that family itself can sign off on certain documents, and that will lead to insurance and other things kicking in. How are the fraudsters able to convince families to overlook the identities of bodies of people who clearly are not part of their family, if you know what I mean?
Actually, the person who needs the body, it doesn't care what the body looks like, because all they want is to show the doctor that there is a body. So it's not the syndicate having to convince the family. They'll just take the body, use the body. When they are done with the body, they'll take it back to the hospital. Now, when you, the actual owner of the body, comes in, you get your body,
okay.
and you will never know that your body has ever left the hospital. Should you come earlier and the body is not there, they'll quickly give you an excuse. Maybe they'll tell you that there's load shedding, or there was load shedding, our systems are down. And, black families in particular, if you tell them that we are offline, they will not question. They'll just go home. But at the end of the day, the reality is that you don't need electricity, you don't need a computer to dispatch the body, because that is done manual. But people out there are unaware of these things. They will be told that there's load shedding, or we are offline, go back home, come tomorrow. They're just buying time so that the body can come back. When the body is back, then you are able to collect your body.
Wow. So what would you reckon then should be the advice to families to try bury their loved ones as soon as possible? And I'm asking this knowing that there are sometimes constraints. Burying someone is no cheap exercise, especially for many black families.
I wouldn't advise that. What I would advise for families to do, should your loved one pass on today and you get a call from the hospital, you must go there as quickly as possible just to identify the body, because that's your right. And if someone tells you that they are offline, you will tell them straight that I don't need to even fill in a form. I just need to see my body. It is your right. And if they deny you a right to view the body, you can call us, because we are not only conducting funerals, but we want to make sure that the bodies are treated with dignity and care.
Sure. And I'm also interested to find out how you came across the scam actually being in operation. You must have found somebody doing what they're not meant to be doing, and that must have opened this Pandora's box, quite frankly.
Exactly. You know what happened? The body was sold for 3,000 rand to these fraud syndicates. And these fraud syndicates are people, it's a group of people. There will be an undertaker there. There will be this fake family, and there will be a person that is selling the body. The body was sold at 3,000 rand by a mortuary attendant of another funeral parlor. So let me rather use the word hired, because that's what happened with me. The body was hired and was taken to my mortuary. There's one a small undertaker that is storing his body by my morgue. And when it came there, the workers at my morgue admitted the body as normal. Then when they were supposed now to take the body back to where it was stolen from, they could not be able to follow the dispatching processes that we have, because anytime and every time when we are dispatching the body, a member of the family must be here to identify the body. And this is how we get hold of them. And the lady could not identify the body because it was a wrong body. She did not even know the body to begin with.
Wow. So you said that, you've already reported this particular case to the police, and you're obviously disgruntled that those 4 people who are arrested have now been released. In my mind, though, to pull this off takes more than 4 people. Do you reckon there are other people who still need to be held accountable?
Exactly. The police were there, and these 2 confessed in front of the police. I still have pictures and videos of them confessing and them being arrested, but nothing has ever happened. It was like they are going through a drive-through to the police station, and they went back home. free and not being arrested. Recently, we have seen something similar in Johannesburg, but it was different this time because it was body parts that were being stolen. A mortician who was called by an undertaker to exhume, to work with the body. He was supposed to conduct what we call embalming. He was supposed to embalm the body. He went on and cut off the private parts of the body. Now, both the family and an undertaker were not aware that this person would steal the body part. But you see, the police came in, which was big, it was on the news, and nothing happened thereafter. So the police are the ones at the end of the day who are letting these criminals loose.
Sure. What a concerning set of circumstances. Thanks for bringing this issue to light. Hopefully it'll get a whole lot more attention than it's currently receiving.